Hello, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of medical blogging, the anatomy of a perfect blog. Here we're looking at blogging basics. Over here, we will cover strategy, organization and outline, headings, keyword research, content research. Let's start with our blog strategy. Before writing a blog or before writing a blog on your website, we have to understand what our aim is with this blog. What are we hoping to achieve? Are you looking to persuade your audience? Are you looking to sell a product or a service? Do you want to inform your audience? Do you want to educate your audience about a particular subject? Are you looking to engage your audience? Do you want to entertain them or hold their attention? Do you want to increase the number of website visits? Or do you want to prompt them into making an appointment for a service? These are certain examples that, or certain aims that blogs have. Depending on whether you're writing for a personal blog, your own business, or maybe the company that you work for. Now, when we build this blog strategy, the next step would be to create the content strategy or create content. Then you optimize your blog content for Google, make it so that Google likes it. Distribute this blog content, share it on your social media channels, share it on various other platforms, and then you track your blog results. By tracking, we mean we're taking a look at how many people have actually visited your website through your blog, how many people have read your blog, how high is your website on Google search rankings, how many comments and feedback you've received from it. And accordingly, that information will help you build your next blog strategy and will allow you to make changes if required, or if something is working, if the formula works, then to continue with that formula as well, which is why strategy is important. It helps you plan your content in the long haul. Now, when we're looking at content organization, the most popular model for creating content is the pillar and cluster model or the hub and spoke model. Here we're looking at a center topic, which is called our pillar content. And then we look at different topics that can lead from this content. So we're looking at a way of categorizing or organizing our blog with the post so that we're not just indiscriminately posting without a plan, right? It's not very user-friendly for a visitor who's coming to your website to see articles that are all over the place. It would help if we have an index, like our textbooks or our journals have an index at the beginning, so we know what we're reading and where we need to read to get the information we want. Secondly, Google also appreciates a good format for your blog or a good organized outline for your blog, right? So supposing you had a topic on genetics, you wanted to write a blog on genetics. Now, there are associated topics that are related to that. You could write a smaller article on the role of genetics in neurodegenerative diseases. You could write on the role of genetics in ancestry, on the role on human microbiome and gut and skin, the genetics that are involved with that, and gene editing software, or the role of gene editing these days. That could be one entire hub and spoke model where you're revolving your content around genetics. You could also be doing another set of articles on biomedical research, where you're talking about drug interactions, microfluidics, diet and nutrition, or even the effect of keto diet on lipid levels. Now, all of this goes into your research, yes, but there may be an overlap. You may be talking about CRISPR technology, and that has something to do with gene editing, and you can link these two hubs together, right? So you're linking, all your content is inevitably linked to each other. And even when you're writing about the effect of keto diet on lipid levels, you can link that to the diet that is required for your gut microbiome and how it affects the skin. So effectively, we are creating a website that has a blog page, that has blog posts or articles that are well connected to each other, that are well thought out with some sort of strategy behind it. Now, when we go to our content outline and we have a blog, we need to draft it in a way that makes sense to the audience. So we organize our content with a logical flow, right? Going from the beginning to the middle to the end, an introduction, the main body, and the conclusion. We have to figure out what our key points are, so we get our subheadings, break down each point into key facts, conclusions, or arguments. And Google loves numbers, so we need to figure out what data is needed to support our points and insert them wherever necessary. We can balance the sections so that they're not too short or not too long. We need to make sure that we have the right title. Most blog topics go in for a how-to or a top 5 reasons, simply because these topics do well in search engine rankings. Google likes these listicles or instructional blogs. And a short, easy introduction followed after that, images or videos that are related to these topics. And then we have headlines with text underneath, broken up into small passages for easy reading with a final thoughts or a conclusion. Now, when we are writing content, we are used to writing in paragraphs. That's how we've been taught to write, maybe in school or in college. And that works, yes, for certain formats. But for the online format, we need to make sure that it is easy for both the algorithm to understand and for the reader to understand. So this is what we call skimmable content, which means somebody should get the idea of what your blog is about just by skimming through the blog, by looking at the headings, by looking at your H1, which is your main heading or your title. Then you have H2 headings, which is dividing your content further, and H3 and H4, where you're listing down points or important sections in this, right? Now we move on to keyword research. So to recap, we've figured out what our content strategy should be, what our blog strategy should be on our website, what topics we're going to be writing about. Once we've determined the topic, we've also figured out what our actual blog is going to look like with its heading, its beginning, its middle, its end, its subheadings. Now we want to know what words we need to use in this blog. The most important thing we need to do when we finalize a topic is keyword research. Now, keywords are specific words that you must enter into the Google search bar so that you get your topics or information related to that topic. Now, when we are on the writing side of it, it makes sense for us to incorporate these keywords into our content so that Google can match what the users want with what we have created. Supposing a user is researching personal protective equipment during COVID. So if we are writing a blog on personal protective equipment, it makes sense to use the words personal protective equipment, sanitizers, new normal, staying safe, because these are things that people are right now searching for. This is the kind of content that they want to see. So supposing we are given a topic, the pandemic measures, staying safe in the new normal, we would write keywords that include staying safe, new normal, sanitizers, that we would somehow work into our content. Work it so that it comes naturally, that it flows naturally in the content, but we know that these are words that people are looking for. So we can use a keyword research tool. This is Google AdWords, where we put in our keywords over here, and Google tells us which are the ideal words that we should be using. Another trick is to look at the last section of a Google search page. Here you can find various long tail keywords or long form keywords. These are also things that people are looking for to get us ideas on what are the points we should incorporate in this, in our main article, to make it more informative and to get more likes on a Google's on a Google search page. We will go more into keyword research in a following session and the intricacies of it. But as of now, we just need to know what they are and the value of incorporating this in our blogs. Once we know now we've got a format organized and we have keywords that we know we have to use in our blogs, now we would go into actual content research. Where would we refer to the material that we're going to write in our content? We can refer to books and journals as long as we reference them accordingly. We can refer to case reports, case studies, other blogs or websites that are credible and are well-ranked websites, YouTube videos, podcasts. We can interview experts and get genuine quotes from them. And we can take our own photographs or take our own videos because we're not using somebody else's. We don't have to worry about copyright. We can, use our own content. With this, we move on to part 3, where we will cover links, edits, and proofreading, call to action, and promotion when you're actually ready to wind up and publish your blog. I'll see you in part 3. Thank you.